Have this Starbucks double shot. I'm ready to film this. You can taste all the energy in this. Hey y'all, it's Michael and these are my top 45 books of 2015. These are numbers 10 through number 1. I'm so excited to film this. Just because I get to tell you my favorite book of the year. Number 10 is Disgraced by J.M. Coetzee. Wow, love that I discovered this author. I randomly picked this book up from Goodwill because I was like, sure, why not? Because usually when I go to Goodwill, I have my Goodreads app open, ready to scan books, and I love this book. This book takes place in South Africa, and we follow our main character, David Lowry, who is a professor at the university. Basically, you're not gonna like him. Like, I did not like him as a character, but he was so intriguing and has basically an affair with one of his students, and so he gets in trouble, obviously. He ends up moving back with his daughter, and that's basically the gist of the story. The way Coetzee writes is so beautiful. I've read his other novel, Elizabeth Costello. That one was really interesting too. Just really enjoy his writing style and all the symbolisms in his novel, because you can take his book face on, but when you look deeper into it, you can really break it down. And yes, while David is a despicable character, he makes and says things that's not really likable, he's this old man that I was like, I felt like I met someone like that before. I'm not gonna name any professors that I have taken a class with, but number 9 is I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. This is a self-biographical novel. I've never read this book before, and so when I put a comment on my Facebook, my old classmate was like, what? You never read her novel before? You guys, I love this so much. First off, again, beautiful writing. You're gonna see that the top 10 of this is gonna include beautiful writing. This is an account of her growing up. It's a coming of age story. I love coming of age stories. I just love beautiful! Number 8 is Arikara by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I listened to the audiobook narrated by Adjoa Ando. It takes place in America too, but this also takes place in Lagos and Nigeria. So good! I loved it. Again, I loved it, loved it, loved it. This is about Ifemelu and Obinze, two childhood sweethearts who basically we follow them more of the present and also back in their childhood and them growing up. I gushed about this already in my December wrap up. The writing is beautiful. I love the themes of immigration and coming of age and living in America and talking about growing up in America. I just love everything that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie talks about in this novel. This book really did remind me a lot about being an immigrant in America and experiencing America growing up. Waving inflatable, waving too, man, that's how good it was, y'all. And then after this, I watched one of her TED Talks and I was like, yes, come through. Come through. Number 7 is Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. Even though this is middle grade, I loved it. It was so good. This is written in verse, self-biographical, and it's about her growing up. And again, another coming of age story. It is done so well. The poems were beautiful. The language is beautiful. The book cover is beautiful too. There's a reason why this won the National Book Award. Go read it. It won't take you long. Go, 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 go. I need more double shot, y'all. Number 6 is The Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber, narrated by Josh Cohen. Love! It's not a coming of age stories like the other one. Again, beautiful writing. This is my first Michelle Faber book. I'm definitely excited to read more of his work. He said this is his last novel. This is about Peter, who is a pastor, priest? I always get those mixed up. He gets chosen to go to an alien planet and go to talk to the aliens and teach them about the gospel. I was like, oh, this is a science fiction book. It's actually more literary fiction than anything. It also talks about his relationship as he is this foreign planet with the aliens. Also has to communicate with his wife, Bea, who is on Earth, and love the relationship between these two. At the end of the day, even it's a book about a long distance relationship and how people handle long distance communication. The audiobook is fantastic on this too because the voice of the aliens are so good. Also love the themes of religion and faith in this novel. I also really enjoyed how explaining faith is in this because he has to explain faith to the aliens, and so this really gives a perspective of how someone is completely foreign to a religion and you trying to explain your religion. Go read it. Number 5 is The Walking Dead by Robert Kirkman and a whole bunch of people. I already did a whole spiel on this, but I loved love this comic book series and I am on board. Slowly waiting for the next chapter, whatever volume. I've read all of the compendiums and I'm finally caught up. So excited where the plotline is going. I love these characters. It's just really fun. It's always surprising on how it surprises me, and with these twists and turns. The zombies are just there just so we can see how people are when they are pushed to their limits. I'm excited because I started Fear the Walking Dead, the show. I don't know if that's canon or not. They could connect this to the comic book series or the show. Loved it, love it, love it, love it. We're getting to the top books. I'm so excited. I need more double shot. Number 4 is Atonement by Ian McEwan. You already know what I'm about to say. Beautiful writing, yes. I love McEwan's writing. This book is written beautifully. I read his children's act and he writes like this, like what he chooses to describe and how to describe the things and how to describe the characters' feelings, done beautifully, really flowy. This book is also structured incredibly. You could tell that he thought about it. Like, I know that sounds bizarre saying that, but you could tell that McEwan, when he was writing this, he was like, this book is about Bryony. She sees something. This is before World War II starts. This is basically about how one lie literally can change everything. I know some people have complaints about the middle portion of this because it's almost like a lull, but I didn't have an issue with it because writing was so beautiful. And I was like, yes, please tell me about this farm. The ending to this, if you have the chance to experience this for the first time, the ending, personally, it blew my mind. The wool was pulled over my eyes and I was like, what? Like, what was I reading this whole time? My bracelet, Lord. It's the double shot, y'all. It's the double shot. We're reaching the top 3. Number 3 is Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I listened to the audiobook. It's also narrated by him. Fantastic narration. Love. This is a collection of letters of Coates writing to his son. Him talking about growing up and living as a black man in America. How he's seeing his son going to go through a lot of the things that he's going. This was a fantastic. God, it was so good. Toni Morrison had the blurb on the bottom saying this is required reading. If that's not enough for you, then I don't know what is. This talks a lot about current issues in America, about race, just growing up in America, because his perspective, of course, is a black man, but I can really relate just in general growing up. I love this. Just go read it. Like, I don't even know why I'm trying to convince you, because you should want to read this book. There's a reason, again, why people are praising it and it's reading all of these awards. Number 2 is The Warmth of Other Suns, the epic story of America's Great Migration by Isabel Wilkerson, narrated by Robin Miles. Love this. I made a mistake on my audiobook portion because I said there was 4 narrators. There's only 3. I was probably thinking of Ray Charles. It's a non-fiction book about America's Great Migration, which a lot of people don't know about and they don't really talk about it in the American school system. About the mass exodus of blacks during several years, living in the South, moving all the way up to like New York and California. Follow 3 narrators and we get to see during different times of the Great Migration about their lives and how it changes, how traveling outside of the South during these times changed them as a person, but also just their experiences. You could tell first off that this book is thoroughly searched. Don't be intimidated by the length of this book or the audiobook length of this also. The way that it's structured, since it's switching between these 3 main characters, the book at a really good pace. It'll be done by the time you know it, and it is incredibly interesting. Ida Mae, George, and Robert. Robert's the doctor. Yeah, Robert. All of these people are really interesting. So the book is just interesting in general, and I learned a lot. I can't recommend this book enough. Go read it. It is fan-freaking-tastic. It's so good. The number 1 book. I have it right here. Before I mention my favorite book of the year, I just want to say that I had an amazing reading year. Picking out these books were really hard. Like, I left some books out. Last year I picked Gilead as my favorite book because I felt like that book, not all, again, written beautifully, but it's also one of those books where it really spoke to me on a different level. It changed me for the better. My favorite book this year, I felt like it did that. It really changed how I perceive people and relationships with people. And it is A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. I love this novel. I listened to it on audiobook and it's narrated by this lovely person. First off, there's a blur by Alice Walker on the bottom, so I don't need to convince you because Alice Walker should be enough. I went to this book completely blind. All I knew is that it was a book from a dog's perspective, and we all know how dog books end. I mean, I've read enough books about dogs to know how it's going to end. The Art of Racing in the Rain, Marley and Me, like I know how those books are going to end. And this book made me feel the feels. Like, I got emotional about this book. Today at work, funny timing, we were talking about media, like those that made us cry, and my coworkers were talking movies and stuff, and then I was like, you know what a book, it just randomly popped up to me, I was like, you know what a book that made me really emotional? It's this one right here. This book is about Bailey, who's the perspective that we get the book from, about him being a dog. Like, it's literally about him being a dog. Since it's about him being a dog, compared to the other book that I mentioned earlier, this book is really simplistic. Like, it's not the most flowery of language compared to those other books. It's a simply good book. I mean, it's from a dog. Like, a dog's not gonna use the word acquiesce. Like, they're not gonna use that word. Do they even know it? I don't know. I'm not a dog. Also, it's about his owner, Ethan, and then their relationship. I'm gonna talk about the ending, but no spoilers here. But the ending, I fucking lost it. Like, I was not ready for the ending. And you know, 2015 was a hard enough year as it is in the beginning, if you watch that video that I talk about. And this book was like, made me just so... Ooh, it's bring up emotions again, but it was just so fantastic. Like, this book taught me to love, like, to have no regrets, to just live life to the fullest. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It's about finding your purpose in the world, hence the name of the novel. Why, Michael? Why do you choose to do this? Hold on, I need my double shot. It's getting hot. I just love this book, you guys. I think I chose this because last year, Gilead by J... Oh my god, that book was so good. That book elicited really a lot of the feelings that I had with this. I think the reason why is because, like, some of my favorite books ever, a lot of the books, not only a connection, but I feel like Cold Sassy Tree, Catcher in the Rye, Pride and Prejudice, like, those type of books that I love to the core of my heart. There's a lot more, trust me. I feel like not only can I relate to them, but they understand you. I know that's so weird. I'm allergic to something, you guys. It just has to be. It's this book. Someone put something I'm allergic to. So good. I'm done. Yes. I'm tired. As you can tell, these are a lot of videos. So yes, those are my favorite books that I read in 2015. I'm so excited for 2016. If you read any of these books, let me know. Until then, I'll see you guys till later. Bye! In case you guys don't know, I bought this book. I found this book for $1. I snatched that thing from the Goodwill shelf so fast, it made no sense.